Tom, and I have got a round 2 model review for you.
Alright, so I know these are the two parts everybody's dying to see most. We'll dig into the others as we go, probably largest to smallest. I figured to keep a little anticipation, we'll look at the insides first. So definitely a well-structured piece of plastic here. I very much doubt that that is ever going to warp. Well, on the underside, there's definitely a bit of scuffing going on. But of course, that's nothing to really worry about. There's a lip going around the entire edge, so that should really help seal the hull down and help to minimize any light leaks that may occur. And of course, we do have grid lines. They are nearly invisible. One of the goals was to have them so they'd barely be visible close up and definitely not from a distance. That we still have them means that Jamie has hit his mark as far as he wanted to get them. Some folks are definitely going to be disappointed to have them there, others won't mind, and still a few others will probably celebrate the fact. Myself, can't say I really like them, but they shouldn't be too difficult to get rid of, but it's definitely going to be an intense process of a lot of puttying. I don't know if Mr. Surfacer is good enough to do these, but definitely some really thin putty should do the trick. Very carefully applied. So one thing I'm noticing, well, another thing I'm noticing, we'll do this one first, is this is really optical illusion. It's really strange looking at it. Here, the saucer looks really flat, but you turn it sideways and all of a sudden it seems to get to the normal profile. But at any slight angle, it really looks strangely flat. It must be because the BC deck is missing. The plastic itself is pretty close to flawless. I'm not seeing any blemishes going on. Nothing serious, at least. There's some minor scuffing in this area here if the light is picking that up. If that's just this kit, then that's just this kit, but if it's in, of course, the mold, then everybody is going to have that. What's this little guy here? Oh, just a little piece of extra plastic. Over here in this area, there's a little bit of, it's not quite scraping, but something going on. Excuse me. These details here are finely engraved. Little dark spot on the edge there. That's a little strange. Probably just the plastic. Maybe something got in there. There's the slightest of textures to the plastic overall. It's definitely not completely, utterly, flatly smooth. Well, this set of grid lines is right down the middle. Where is it? So that's very smooth compared to the areas right next to it. But a little minor scuffing on that panel there. But definitely a well-engineered piece of plastic on that one. And over here, this thing is definitely a solid piece of rock. We have that really fine texture going on. If you're going to putty in the grid lines, you're definitely going to have to be careful around the circumference lines there. The eyebrows are engraved. There's a few minor spots of scuffing, but that should be neither here nor there. Once you have some primer on there, it should be alright. But all the grid lines themselves, they're definitely evenly cut. They're definitely all a similar depth. So the guys who did this, engineered it, definitely did a good job. The thickness of these windows really surprises me. Or the thickness of the plastic, perhaps, is more accurate to say. Now let's just let the camera wander over the surface here a little. You can see the grid lines really disappear from a bit of a distance, but they are distinctly there in person. And getting rid of all of them down here, I think that's definitely probably going to be the toughest task of them all, simply because they get so crowded and you've got to work against that lip right there for the sensor dome. Still, really, really nice looking. A little bit of something going on right there with that window. You can definitely see the scuffs a little more so here in this light. Hopefully that's just this kit and not all of them. Oh yeah, sweet. Let's try popping this together. So it looks well keyed, 2, 4, 6, 8 keys overall. Put this down. There we go. Now it definitely fits in snugly there. That's not going to rotate on you. This definitely does not want to stay down. This side is good. Looks like that side doesn't like it. Once you get clamps on this, and this seam line is going to have to be puttied up anyway. And it looks like all the grid lines, they're not all quite lined up. They're close. I like these right here, these are lined up, which throws that one's way off. So yeah, if you like the grid lines, you've got some work in front of you to get at least a few of them realigned. It's not too bad, just 2 or 3 it looks like. It's really too bad that doesn't stick together. Looks like these pegs aren't quite long enough. If they were a dash longer, that would probably seal real tight and nice. Next up, take a look at the engineering hall. Actually, next up, let's take a look at the Refit versus this. Definitely just a little bit bigger. See, so whereas this Refit plastic, this is smooth with a capital smooth. This is very, very finely textured. Just a note, that's all. But wow, what a size.